argument that if an unexpected team jumps into the number one pick, so like if Sacramento or
That
Golden
would be
State,
amazing.
or if somehow OKC with the
I
Houston,
feel like we're gonna get a really weird one. I
yeah,
feel like this feels like a weird year where we're just gonna get like last year was the Spurs. Okay, that was obvious. The last time that we had someone jump really high, I guess, was the Pelicans with the Zion draft.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they were what, like 6th or 7th in odds. That was the last time we had a jump. Gotcha. Spurs got 4. Rockets got
So it's
3.
not right. So it's going to be the Hawks. Oh my God, it's the
The
Hawks.
Hawks are gonna
The
be in
Hawks
the
are gonna-
play-in to get the number 1 pick. Oh my God!
Let's go!
Holy shit! Did I
Oh
not
my
say
God,
something
this
weird is
rules.
going to happen?
Yes, we did. Oh, this rules so hard.
Wow. That's got to be the biggest. That's
The
bigger
regular
than the
season
New Orleans
matters,
jump when they got
baby.
Zion.
The regular season matters.
Wow. Jesus. So the Hawks get their first number 1 overall pick since the 70s.
And the first one they actually get to roster, theoretically.
Jeez.
And what a year to get it, you know? What a jackpot, baby. Let's do it.
Congratulations. You get the opportunity to hopefully identify someone who is not going to be a bust and someone that can actually change your franchise. So my question for you guys is, does this change your outlook on what the Hawks should do? Because it kind of felt like they were leaning towards a rebuild anyway.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think this will push their hand to trick them even more into trading Trae Young.
So you think it goes?
Sorry, go ahead, Trill.
So you think it goes? They continue to lean into the let's blow it up and start over here.
I mean, maybe. Sounds like, Chuck, you might be on the other side of things.
No. I agree. I think it's similar to Blazers with Dame last year, where the Hawks won't want to be the ones to say, hey, Trae, we want to trade you. But they're going to find prospects that they like, and Trae will see that, oh, now I have covered a request to trade. No one's going to blame me for asking out. I don't want to play with some rookie from a bad draft.
Sure.
Therefore, I'll ask out, and the Hawks will be like, psh, and then they'll trade him.
Yep, right.
That
it's
would be
basically an easy way out for them.
Yep. It's the shared no fault divorce.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Jeez. Wow. So, man, that's a shock. I said I felt like there was going to be something weird this year. Weird draft year. Like first time since the 70s that they'll get the number 1 overall pick. Shout out to Akira in the comments who called this, said that the Hawks were going to jump up to number 1 before.
Again, Trill, you know this because we did that episode on the 2013 draft a couple years back. Like, usually what a bad draft means is that the players that are the consensus top are uninspiring. It doesn't mean that there aren't really good players there.
Sure.
What it means is that who are the really good players or who end up being the really good players are likely available later in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Raptors or the Nets or whomever, if they think they've identified someone, then it should be relatively cheap for them to trade into the slot where they can get a player. They just have to be confident in their eval. Like, in a way, it's funniest for the Hawks because the pick's going to have no trade value. They're not, no one's going to want it because of all of the stuff we've been talking about. And like, you're going to take Alex Sarr to play him between Jalen Johnson and Okongwu?
Right.
What are you going to do? So, like, if a team has fallen or fallen out or fallen low, there should be someone available to them that like is undervalued. There should be. That's what history says.
2 things. First off, if I'm drafting with the first pick in this draft, I'm not thinking about Okongwu. I'm thinking, let's just get the best player possible. If we're rebuilding anyway, if anything, I might even consider trading Okongwu. I think a lot of teams around the league might value that contract because it is a pretty decent contract for a guy that, I don't know, I think he's been kind of disappointing, to be honest, considering the expectations for him as a prospect. And you're probably not going to be able to maximize this team in this window around him. Jalen Johnson's a different story for me. I think long-term Jalen Johnson absolutely fucking rules. And I think you should absolutely not trade that guy, and you should just come to some sort of contract extension with him that works for both sides. And then the other part of this is the Nets specifically are in a good situation for that. The Raptors, if they want to trade in, famously tried to trade in 2013 to draft Giannis. and were not able to when they were, obviously trying to move up on the board in a year that they also did not have their pick. And the Nets, though, they have for example, if they like someone just outside the lottery in the middle of, the teens or whatever, they could probably trade like Dorian Finney-Smith for the Sixers pick or something.
Sure.
Like you could just trade Dorian Finney-Smith into the Sixers cap space, get the 16th pick, and take a swing on a guy if you really like them. So I do think there are options, like you said, if they identify someone that they like, and they can always trade back into this draft. But the Raptors situation is, I would probably have a little bit more patience because they do have a pick later at least. Okay. Sam, you about to cook?
Let me just ask you guys, okay? Would, going forward, which team's future would you rather have? The San Antonio Spurs and Wemby, or the Atlanta Hawks, who now have a first-round pick to pair with their 2 all-star guards? Atlanta, I don't want to say super team. Like, I think all of the other teams should take like 5 to 7 years off. Like, and just let Atlanta and the Spurs. This is going to be a clash of the Titans shit. I mean, the Celtics are going to have to win this year before the Hawks dynasty starts.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, Sam, your Hawks rising up the board and getting the number 1 pick is huge for your brand, but also are the Spurs the biggest losers here? Because not only, yes, they got 2 top 8 picks and they have Wemby, sure. But other than that, you now are looking at a situation where you won't be able to trade for Trae Young, because they have the first pick, and Atlanta is now a super team. And then on top of that, they have their future picks for the DeJounte Murray trade that still haven't conveyed. The next 3 first.
Now those are 30. Those are 30 and
those
29.
are worthless picks.
Yeah, they're worthless. You got to trade those now. They're going to try and get off them before everyone finds out. That's terrible.
Thought experiment.
Part of the reason I'm late is like my family is home, so I'm only like popping in to give my like quick reaction. In all honesty, I'm very interesting. I did not expect Atlanta to jump up the board, and I do think that that's really interesting. I think they might. I've been trying to like decide if I think they're going to take Sarr. I don't know like who they. I think Topic is the best player in this draft, and I've been like pretty consistent on that. I feel like Atlanta does not need like the last thing they need is like Topic. I think they're more inclined to like draft Sarr. They don't really need guards. They need to trade one anyway. So I'm really interested to see what Atlanta does on draft night, because there's a lot of different directions they can go now. They can trade both of their guys, and because there's so many guards at the top of this draft. The problem is that the guards at the top of this draft are all like projected as like starters. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really have like a ton of like star upside, but really interesting. It's very funny that the Wizards fell out of the top 4.
The Wizards didn't fall out of the top 4.
Did they? Oh, I thought were they 3rd?
Wizards were 4.
The Wizards
2.
The Wizards are 2. It's
They're
the
2.
it's
Okay.
the Pistons that fell out of the top.
Pistons.
4.
Okay.
Classic. We joked. We said it would be classic if they were number 1 overall, and then for them to fall to 5 again is even funnier.
It is funnier. I'm not gonna
let Chuck.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to know how good you think Topic can be if he's your guy. I'm interested.
He's my guy, and this is the reason why, because I think that he that under the rim style of like play, and I do think that he's not like a non-shooter. Like I think he's a relatively safe bet to like learn how to shoot. I think he's huge. I think he's skilled, and I think that just compared to like all of these other guys, with the exception of like maybe Castle, who strikes me as like a guy who's like B+ at a lot of things and not necessarily like elite at anything, you know, like I think that a lot of these other guys have like pretty huge weaknesses. Like a guy like Rob is like a, you know, obviously like an upside pick is like a, you know, tough shot maker and all sorts of things, but he also, there's the size issue. Reed also has the size issue, and like
I just want to point out here real quick. 4 months ago, Rob Dillingham's upside could be Darius Garland, positive. Now, Rob Dillingham's upside could be Darius Garland, negative.
It's derogatory now.
Derogatory, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there's just so many interesting things on the board. I know a lot of people like Sar a lot more than me. Personally, my swing guy is Ricochet. Like, I think that he is such a he's like that archetype. Like, and you like he could be anywhere from like a 3-and-D wing for you to like having like some like pretty good like wing score upside if the shooting is
No
real.
way a guy with that name is
Yeah.
good in the NBA.
Well, that's the thing. Is I do.
Twan Murphy the third.
Yeah, I do want to say I do think Ricochet's like shooting has been pretty Mickey Mouse. Like he's already kind of starting to come back down to earth. But I mean, like if you want to take an upswing in this draft, I think it's very interesting. I also think the Grizzlies are a pretty strong bet to trade up now. Again, I just think the fit with oh my God, Connecticut big man Klingon is like so good for them that I would, and a lot of teams are going to be trying to trade back in this bad draft. You know, like
Well,
if you can.
the last time they traded up, it didn't work out great for them.
So
That's true. That's true.
They should have just stayed and took Trey Murphy in retrospect. But anyway,
Topic was my one through most of this process, but he has actually not been since he's come back from injury. I actually think that some of his athleticism and burst has been robbed from him, and I want to see that more before I see him as a top. He's still in my top 3, but like I have moved off him as like my number 1. Okay, so Rob makes a point. Galaxy Brain, Rod Holland at 1. I still like Ron.
I have Ron
Holland.
Holland at 2.
I have right now. I have Ron as a soft 1. Soft.
It's not crazy. It's not that crazy.
If the draft is bad, take the hyper athletic guy who's at a minimum going to be a great defender and I think has a safe floor of being a good role player and might have a sliver of star upside if the shot creation and the shooting can get a little better. And he's shown a little bit of touch indicators at a minimum. But anyway,
I'm reacting to this like I'm the child in Men in Black, and you all just transformed into the aliens in front of me. I'm kind of out on Ron Holland and like those kind of like project guys like in general. I have like Ron Holland more like in the 8-9 range for me. But you guys, there's 3 of you and 1 of me, so I am the weird guy here. So
again, to your credit, like Sam, Topic was my one. Like in the Discord, it's been like I've been very in on Topic. I think that at his peak, he has the most compelling ceiling case. Yeah. We've seen leg injuries rob athleticism from these kind of guards before. And so I just want to see some of that return before I mean, who cares at that point? Like it's the first pick in a bad draft. Like
well, that's my thing. It's like it's not that I think Topic is like an all-star, you know, or like a multi-time all-star. Like I think he's like again, I hate to use the Dragic comp because it's so easy that the people you're just saying that because it's like a white giant European point guard. It's like, no,